Earth hung silent beneath a swarm of alien ships that glowed like storm clouds made of metal. Every news channel on the planet had gone dark hours ago. Now the sky above every city shimmered with the reflection of something immense. Millions stood frozen on rooftops, staring upward as the alien fleet covered the stars. No one knew what they wanted. The only message they had sent was a single phrase in every human language: prepare for judgment. In orbit, the United Earth Fleet stood ready. It was small compared to the alien armada, barely 30 ships against thousands. But every human aboard those vessels knew retreat was not an option. The flagship, Dauntless, moved into position at the center of the defense grid. Its commander, Captain Miles, watched the tactical screen fill with alien signatures. Each enemy ship was the size of a mountain, moving with eerie silence. "Power readings off the scale," said the tactical officer, his voice tight. "They're charging something, sir." Miles didn't blink.
"Let them."
"We'll show them what humans do when they're cornered." On the dark side of Earth's orbit, several satellites activated. Their panels unfolded, forming a ring of silver mirrors. A signal from the Dauntless triggered a sequence that had never been tested before: Project Solflare. The satellites aimed sunlight toward a single point and magnified it into a narrow beam. The beam flashed bright and white, cutting through the void like a blade and striking one of the alien ships directly. There was no explosion, but the giant vessel's shield flickered for the first time. A ripple of light ran through the alien formation. They hadn't expected resistance. Miles smiled faintly. "Now they know we're awake." Seconds later, the alien fleet moved. Energy storms erupted as their weapons powered up, painting the black of space with swirling blue light. The first barrage tore through 3 human destroyers, breaking them apart like toys. The Dauntless shuddered as shockwaves hit its hull, alarms screaming through the bridge. Yet even as ships fell, Earth's defense network began to adapt. Human engineers on the ground rerouted energy from entire city grids to feed the orbital shield. On the ocean floor, automated drones activated a pulse array designed to scramble enemy sensors. Within minutes, the alien targeting systems began to fail. "We can't win this by firepower," Miles muttered, "but we can win by thinking faster than them." He looked at the quiet figure standing behind him, a young technician named Liam Carter. Barely 20, he was part of the science team assigned to monitor the alien transmissions. Now his fingers danced across a console, tracing strange energy patterns that pulsed through the enemy formation. "They're not attacking randomly," Liam said. "It's like they're measuring us." Scanning for something specific, Miles frowned. "What do they want to find?" Liam hesitated. "Us, or rather, what's inside us?" Before Miles could ask, a sudden transmission broke through the static. It wasn't human. A deep, resonant voice echoed across every frequency, its words clear and cold. "Humanity, your intelligence and defiance are noted. You will now face the trial of species. Prepare to send your representatives." Then, as suddenly as it began, the alien fleet stopped firing. The sky over Earth went still again. The ships remained above the atmosphere, unmoving as if waiting. Days later, the Dauntless carried a small delegation through the alien blockade under a ceasefire agreement. The Council had summoned them to the Galactic Station, a massive structure orbiting a distant red star. It was said to be the center of galactic law and judgment, where species were either accepted into the Federation or erased from existence. The human team was chosen carefully. Captain Miles represented the fleet. Dr. Elena Park, a scientist known for decoding alien languages, served as the translator. And Liam Carter, the quiet technician, was included for reasons unknown. His presence was a last-minute decision from Earth's command, based on readings from the alien transmissions he had intercepted. The council chamber was vast, built from metal that shimmered like living light. Hundreds of alien delegates filled the curved seats around the center platform, each representing a different civilization. The humans stood in the center beneath a beam of golden light that seemed to weigh on their shoulders. High Chancellor Ralvek, a tall, blue-skinned being with silver eyes, rose from his seat. "Humans of Earth," he said, his voice calm but heavy with power. "Your world has reached the threshold. You stand accused of recklessness, violence, and unchecked ambition. You will now face the trainee evaluation." Captain Miles stepped forward. "If this is your way of measuring our worth, then let's get it over with." Ralvek's gaze drifted toward the towering device at the chamber's edge, a translucent pillar humming with energy. "This scanner will read your potential. It measures intellect, adaptability, and latent power. No being can deceive it. Step forward one at a time. Elena went first. The scanner glowed faintly blue, the same as other species before her. The council murmured approvingly. Miles followed. His result showed a steady green. Acceptable. Then came Liam. As he approached, the scanner pulsed faster, the hum deepening into a low rumble. He hesitated, looking back at the others. Elena gave him a reassuring nod. He placed his hand on the console. The chamber fell silent. The scanner's light surged. What was once a soft glow erupted into blinding brilliance. The entire hall trembled. Alarms flared across the upper decks. The energy readings spiked beyond known limits, flooding the council systems with static. Several delegates shielded their faces. "Shut it down," Ralvik shouted. But the scanner did not obey. Symbols of unknown origin spun through the air, forming a spiral of light above Liam's head. His eyes widened as voices whispered in a language no one could recognize. He tried to pull his hand back, but his arm wouldn't move. Then, just as suddenly, the light vanished. The scanner cracked down its center, smoke curling from within. The silence that followed was absolute. Ralvik looked stunned. What have you done?" Liam took a shaky step backward. "I didn't do anything, it just reacted." A technician rushed forward with a datapad. "Chancellor, the readings, they're impossible." It registered an energy pattern not seen in over 10,000 cycles. Ralvik's expression darkened. "Explain." The technician swallowed hard. "The system recorded a resonance field, the kind associated with the prime builders." Gasps spread through the chamber. The prime builders were a myth among the council, a race said to have vanished long before recorded history. Ralvik turned to the humans. "Is this some kind of trick?" Miles shook his head. "We don't even know what you're talking about." Guards stepped forward, surrounding the humans. "Take them into containment," Ralvik ordered, "until we understand what they are." As they were escorted out, Liam looked back at the shattered scanner. Its fragments still pulsed faintly, as if alive. He could hear the faint whisper again, not through his ears but in his mind. Potential. Unquantifiable. Classification. Threat or salvation. That night, as the council debated humanity's fate, the pieces of the broken scanner began to vibrate. One by one, they lifted from the ground, glowing brighter. Deep beneath the council chamber, a hidden console activated on its own. Across the galaxy, sensors flared awake in forgotten ruins, all tuned to one signal, Earth and far away. Aboard the Dauntless, still orbiting silently outside the station, the ship's AI detected an incoming transmission from an unknown origin. 3 words appeared on every monitor at once. "Human protocol active." The screen flickered, then everything went black. The alien fleet returned to Earth's orbit without warning. Thousands of colossal ships appeared in the dark sky, their arrival shaking satellites out of alignment and sending shockwaves through the upper atmosphere. Every telescope on Earth locked onto them. The same message was broadcast across every human communication channel, in calm but chilling words. "Deliver your representatives or face termination." The United Earth Fleet scrambled again. Dozens of ships rose from the oceans and deserts, engines blazing blue against the night. This time there was no surprise. Humanity had spent every moment since the first encounter preparing for the worst. On the bridge of the new flagship Resolute, Commander Mara stood before a holographic map showing the alien formation. She was calm, her voice steady as she gave the order. "Deploy the Phantom Net." Across Earth's orbit, clusters of small drones powered up. They were almost invisible, designed to mimic debris drifting harmlessly among the stars. As the alien ships began to charge their weapons, the drones activated their hidden function. Each one emitted a pulse of electromagnetic distortion, bending radar and light around them. From the aliens' point of view, Earth suddenly vanished. The entire planet disappeared from their sensors, replaced by a black void. Confusion rippled through the alien fleet as their targeting systems scrambled to recalibrate. Mara leaned forward. "Let them wonder where we went. The aliens fired anyway." Massive energy beams sliced through the empty void where Earth should have been, but instead of hitting the planet, the beams collided with their own reflected signals. Several of their ships were damaged by their own fire. Every human ship watched silently as the aliens reeled back. Earth was still there, cloaked beneath the Phantom Net, hidden by humanity's own ingenuity. Send the signal, Mara said. We talk now, not kneel. A single transmission left the Resolute. It carried a direct message to the Galactic Council, demanding the safe release of Captain Miles, Dr. Elena Park, and Liam Carter. The message ended with one line: Earth stands ready. Far away inside the Council spire orbiting the Red Star, the human delegation remained imprisoned. Their cell was made of transparent alloy, suspended above a pit of light. Outside the walls, alien guards moved silently, watching them with unreadable eyes. Liam sat quietly, staring at the faint glow coming from his hands. Ever since the scanner incident, his body pulsed with strange energy that he couldn't control. Sometimes he could hear the low hum of something deep within the walls responding to him. Dr. Elena paced near the wall, her voice low. They're afraid of you. Whatever that scanner found, it scared them. Captain Miles nodded grimly. They think he's a weapon. That means they'll want to dissect him before they ever listen to us. Liam looked up. I didn't do anything. The machine reacted on its own. Elena sighed. Maybe it wasn't reacting to you. Maybe it was recognizing something. Outside their cell, the council was in chaos. High Chancellor Ralvek stood in the central chamber as dozens of alien representatives shouted over one another. They cannot be allowed to exist, one delegate roared. If the humans carry the prime energy, they are a danger to every system. Others argued for restraint. Destroying them may awaken whatever power lies dormant. Study them first. Ralvik silenced the noise with a wave of his hand. Enough, we will not destroy or release them yet. We need answers. The records of the prime builders were erased for a reason. Deep in the council archives, a team of alien scientists examined the damaged scanner fragments. They discovered something impossible. The machine was regenerating. The crystal components were rearranging themselves, forming new shapes that didn't match the original design. Every attempt to dismantle it failed. It was as if the device were alive and responding to Liam's presence. In the human cell, the lights flickered. A low vibration ran through the floor. Liam stood, feeling the pulse in his chest match the rhythm of the walls. It's calling me, he whispered. The guards noticed the disturbance and raised their weapons, but before they could act, the air shimmered. A holographic figure appeared in the center of the cell, an alien with faint light running through its translucent skin. Its voice was calm, secretive. My name is Tarek, it said. I do not serve Ralvik. I serve the truth. Miles stepped forward cautiously. Then what do you want with us? Tarek's glowing eyes turned to Liam. The council believes you are dangerous. They are wrong. The danger lies in what they are hiding. The prime builders were not gods. They were the first humans. Elena froze. That's impossible, is it? Tarek asked. The energy signature the scanner detected matches ancient data fragments found on dead worlds across the spiral arm. Your kind may not be new to the stars. You may have been here before. The cell door hissed open. Tarek motioned for silence. Follow me. You have little time. They moved through dim corridors, avoiding guards who seemed strangely unaware of their presence. Tarek's form flickered as he passed through security fields. I am not truly here, he said. Only my projection. The real me is elsewhere. As they reached a maintenance tunnel, alarms blared across the station. Ralvik's voice echoed through the speakers. Containment breach. Lock down all sectors. Tarek turned to Liam. They will not let you leave alive, but there is something you must see before they find you. They entered a small observation room overlooking the central power core of the station. In the center of the vast chamber below stood the reassembled scanner, whole again, glowing faintly with white light. Elena whispered, It fixed itself. Tarek nodded. It is not a machine. It is a key. Liam felt the hum in his chest intensify. The scanner below brightened in response, like it could feel him watching. What is it unlocking? He asked quietly. Tarek looked at him. The truth of what you are. Before he could say more, armed guards burst into the room. Energy bolts filled the air. Miles grabbed a fallen weapon and returned fire, covering Liam and Elena as they ran toward the maintenance shaft. Tarek's hologram flickered and vanished, leaving only his final words echoing in the air. Find the archives beneath the spire. The proof is there. The humans fled into the darkness as the alarm lights turned blood red. Ralvik's forces sealed the exits and deployed drones through every corridor. Miles's weapon clicked empty. We can't keep running, he said. We need to find another way out. Elena pointed down the tunnel. There's a maintenance lift ahead. It should lead to the lower decks, the archives Tarek mentioned. They reached the lift and forced the doors open. As they descended, the light around them dimmed to a dull blue. The air grew colder. Rows of strange carvings appeared on the walls, symbols identical to the ones that had floated around Liam during the scanner incident. When the lift stopped, they stepped into a cavernous chamber, filled with ancient structures older than the station itself. Massive stone pillars fused with metal glowed with faint inscriptions. In the center of the room stood a circular platform surrounded by suspended orbs of light. Elena approached one of the pillars and touched its surface. It lit up instantly, projecting a holographic image of stars, galaxies, and strange worlds. She whispered, "These aren't just records. They're maps." Miles frowned. "Maps to what?" Liam stepped onto the central platform. The orbs of light turned toward him, scanning his body. A low melodic hum filled the chamber, vibrating through the floor. Then, in the air above the platform, an image appeared. A human hand touching the same scanner now kept in the council chamber. Beneath it, ancient text glowed in white light. They returned when the stars forgot them. The walls shook as the image faded. The entire station seemed to respond. Alarms began to scream again. Ralvek's voice boomed through the intercom, furious. "Stop them. They've awakened the core." Ilana looked around as the platform's glow intensified. "Liam, what did you do?" He stared at his hands. "I didn't do anything. It's doing it by itself." Miles grabbed his communicator. "Mara, if you're hearing this, prepare to move. The council's about to lose control of this place." Static filled the line, then a faint voice from Earth's fleet replied, "Copy that, Commander. We're coming for you." Outside the station, the alien fleet began to shift uneasily. Energy readings spiked. Deep in space, long dormant satellites from forgotten ages blinked awake, each one relaying a single encrypted signal to Earth. In the archives below, the final pulse of light surged through the room, freezing everything in place. A whisper filled the silence. "The resonance has returned." The night sky over Earth burned with streaks of light as alien warships entered the atmosphere. The second wave of the invasion had begun. Entire continents lost power as electromagnetic storms rippled through the planet's magnetic field. Above the Pacific, the United Earth Fleet fought a desperate battle, their ships like silver sparks against a black ocean. Every broadcast tower on the planet repeated the same message, transmitted from the Galactic Council: surrender the resonant human, or face annihilation. On the flagship Resolute, Commander Mara stood before a cracked display showing the orbital battlefield. Human ships were outnumbered 20-1, but Earth had learned since the first encounter. Every ship now carried hybrid tech built from captured alien fragments. Their engines burned brighter, their shields stronger. "Status on the orbital grid?" she asked. "Grid holding at 70%, replied the tactical officer. "But the western flank is collapsing. The alien carriers are deploying their drones." Mara looked through the viewport. Thousands of silver orbs descended toward Earth like a swarm of locusts, glowing with cold blue light. "Target them with the magnetics," she said. The Resolute's lower hull opened, releasing hundreds of rotating pods. They pulsed with energy and released a web of electromagnetic disruption. The alien drones faltered mid-flight, their systems scrambled by the interference. One by one, they crashed into the ocean, their glowing cores sinking beneath the waves. A cheer rippled through the crew, but it faded quickly as new signatures appeared on the scanners. Even more ships were coming. Mara clenched her fists. "They're not attacking to destroy us. They're searching for someone." Far away, deep inside the galactic station orbiting the red star, that someone, Liam Carter, awoke to silence. His vision blurred with bright patterns floating in the air, remnants of the strange energy that had surged through him. Around him lay the ruins of the archive chamber, walls cracked and glowing faintly with residual light. Captain Miles and Dr. Elena Park were at his side, struggling to wake him. "You've been out for hours," Miles said. "The whole station's on alert. Ralvek's forces are searching every level for us." Elena's voice was quiet, urgent. "Liam, the platform reacted to you. It showed us something, a warning. I think this place was built by humans, or at least by whatever humans used to be before history forgot them." Liam's head ached. "It called itself resonance. I can still hear it. Like an echo." Before Miles could reply, the floor trembled violently. Outside, through the broken archway, they saw flashes of blue light as armed guards advanced through the corridors. "They found us," Miles said. "Move." They ran through the maze of tunnels beneath the station. Energy blasts followed them, shattering walls and sending showers of sparks across the path. Elena guided them through narrow maintenance routes she'd memorized from stolen schematics. As they reached the lower levels, the sound of alarms faded, replaced by the deep hum of machinery. They entered a wide chamber filled with tall, crystalline columns connected by streams of light. The air shimmered like heat waves. Liam felt the same pulse inside him synchronize with the rhythm of the columns. He approached one and placed his hand on its surface. The crystal rippled like liquid. Suddenly, a holographic figure appeared, a projection of Tarek, the alien who had once helped them escape. "You found the core," his voice said, echoing softly. "The resonance lies beneath it. The Council fears what it will awaken." Miles looked up at the lights overhead. "What exactly is it?" "The Prime Builders used it to shape life and matter. They left it behind when they vanished. The Council built their empire over its remains. But if it recognizes humanity again," the hologram flickered, "they will lose control of everything." The projection vanished as power conduits above them burst. Sparks rained down. Elena shouted, "We need to get out before this whole section collapses." But Liam couldn't move. The hum grew louder, vibrating through the floor, the air, his bones. A voice whispered again inside his head, clearer this time. "You carry our memory." The pattern endures. A blinding wave of light shot out from the core, passing through the entire station. Across the galaxy, ships and satellites registered the surge. On Earth, the Resolute systems flickered as the strange energy signal reached the planet. Mara's communications officer turned pale. "Commander, we're detecting a resonance pulse from deep space. Same frequency as the one that disabled the alien fleet last month. It's coming from the Galactic Station." Mara's eyes widened. "That's Liam. Patch the signal through." Back in the station, Liam's body glowed faintly. His eyes reflected streams of data, patterns of galaxies, energy flows, and ancient symbols. "They use this power to create," he murmured, "not destroy." Elena grabbed his shoulder. "Liam, you have to control it." He looked at her, his voice low but steady. "I'm trying. But it's not just me. It's trying to speak through me." The walls around them dissolved into pure light. Images formed, a vast city of towers and machines floating in the void, ancient beings moving among stars, and a sphere of energy pulsing like a heartbeat. Then everything vanished, leaving only darkness. When the light returned, they were standing in the same chamber, but something had changed. The station's power had gone silent. The alarm lights had died. In the distance, they could hear shouts of confusion from the guards. Miles looked around warily. "What did you do?" "I didn't do anything," Liam said. "It turned itself off." Elena tapped her wrist scanner. "No, not off. It's broadcasting across the galaxy." In the council chamber above, Ralvek watched in horror as every communication network began transmitting a single image. The face of a human, Liam, surrounded by light. The broadcast reached every world connected to the council's grid. Across hundreds of civilizations, people watched as a human voice echoed through the stars. "We are not new to you," it said. "You built your laws upon what we left behind. We came before and we return not as conquerors but as witnesses." The chamber erupted in chaos. Delegates shouted, demanding the transmission be cut. Ralvek slammed his hand on the console. "Find them, now!" Back in the depths of the station, heavy footsteps echoed. Dozens of guards approached, led by an elite commander in dark armor. Miles readied his weapon, but he knew it was hopeless. "There's too many." Liam stepped forward. His voice was calm. "I'll stop them." A pulse of light spread outward, freezing the guards mid-step. The energy field suspended them in silence, their weapons locked in place. Liam's hands glowed white as the hum grew stronger. Elena watched, stunned. "You're controlling it now." "I don't think I am," he said quietly. "It's helping me." Miles grabbed his shoulder. "Then tell it to get us out of here." Liam nodded. The light expanded again, enveloping the chamber. For a moment, gravity vanished. The humans felt themselves pulled upward through a tunnel of energy that bent reality itself. When they opened their eyes, they were back inside the Resolute, disoriented but alive. Mara turned from her console, shocked. You've got to be kidding me. How did you—" Before she could finish, the ship's systems flickered. A holographic image appeared in front of her, an automated message from the Galactic Council. Human fleet detected violating restricted space. Immediate termination authorized. Outside, hundreds of alien warships turned toward them, charging weapons. Mara didn't hesitate. All ships scatter and deploy counterfields. The human fleet split apart, darting between energy blasts that cut through the void. The Resolute dived under a barrage, its engines screaming. On the surface of the ship, the same strange light that surrounded Liam began to spread, forming a thin, protective field. Enemy fire struck the hull and vanished without damage. Liam stood on the bridge, barely conscious, but his eyes glowed brighter. "It's responding to us," he said weakly. "It's defending humanity." The alien fleet hesitated, unsure what they were witnessing. The energy field around the Resolute expanded until it touched nearby ships, linking them all in the same glowing aura. For the first time in the war, the humans pushed forward instead of retreating. The Council's command ships pulled back as the impossible unfolded, a single human fleet driving back an empire. As the last alien ship retreated beyond the moon, the light faded from Liam's eyes. He collapsed, breathing heavily. Mara caught him before he fell. "You just saved an entire planet," she said softly. Liam shook his head. "No, something else did." Above them, the stars pulsed faintly in rhythm, as if answering him. Across the galaxy, in countless forgotten ruins, ancient machines began to awaken, each glowing with the same white light. And in the silent halls of the Galactic Council, Ralvek watched the recordings in fear. "The resonance," he whispered. "It's awake again, and it's human." The night above Earth was filled with light. Streaks of fire cut across the upper atmosphere like burning rivers. The alien fleet had arrived. From orbit, massive ships, dark, cold, and shaped like spears, cast shadows over entire continents. Their energy signatures alone could drown out a city's power grid. Earth's defense satellites locked on, but no one on the ground truly believed they had a chance. The invaders had technology older than humanity itself. Inside the command center buried beneath Geneva, alarms screamed as officers scrambled between glowing screens. "They're in low orbit," shouted Commander Riley. His face was pale, but his voice stayed firm. "They're charging weapons. All batteries, prepare to fire." The alien commander aboard the lead dreadnought watched Earth's surface through a silver viewscreen. Its voice was calm and hollow. "Primitive species still believes in defiance," it said to its second officer. "Let them. This will be quick." Then the human ships rose from the planet's shadow. Hundreds of them. The Earth fleet, newly formed, desperately small compared to the enemy. But their movements were sharp, fast, and synchronized. Each craft burned with blue ion light, weaving between the alien formations like wasps around a bear. A coordinated volley struck the alien lead ship directly in its central reactor shield. To the invaders' surprise, the human rounds weren't ordinary weapons. They were pulse disruptors, tuned precisely to interfere with quantum shields. The alien commander leaned forward. "How?" it hissed. "They should not even know this frequency exists." Back in Geneva, Commander Riley smirked. "That's the thing about humans," he said. "We learn fast." The first 5 minutes of battle were chaos. The aliens fired with overwhelming force, carving holes through clouds and setting the upper atmosphere ablaze. Yet Earth's ships moved unpredictably, retreating, splitting, reforming, then vanishing behind bursts of reflective plasma. They were smaller, weaker, but smarter. And as the aliens adjusted, they realized they were not fighting frightened trainees. They were fighting tacticians. In orbit, Captain Morgan of the human cruiser Resolute maneuvered her vessel under the shadow of an enemy carrier. She had exactly 9 seconds before the carrier's scanners would detect her. "Deploy decoys," she ordered. "Feed false readings." Her voice was steady despite the shaking hull. "Now reroute plasma coils. Let's give them something to choke on." The Resolute flipped upside down, fired 2 magnetic anchors, and used the alien carrier itself as cover. Then, with a pulse from its engines, it released a chain of energy mines that detonated across the enemy hull. The alien shields cracked. For the first time, one of their ships began to fall. Across the Galactic Council, millions watched the broadcast. The test had turned real. Humanity was supposed to be under observation, an evaluation to determine if they were worthy of joining the Council. But no one expected Earth to fight like this. The Council had sent its simulated fleet as a final test of discipline and cooperation. Now their projection drones relayed something else entirely: humans adapting under live combat conditions. Counselor Dresha turned to his peers, his expression unreadable. "They're improvising faster than projected," he muttered. "This is not a simulation anymore." Inside the chamber, holograms of the battle danced across the room. Some delegates hissed in disapproval. Others leaned forward in fascination. One voice, a calm, deep tone from a crystalline being, spoke what everyone was thinking. "The humans have passed every metric except one," it said. "We never tested their limit." Meanwhile, aboard Resolute, Morgan received a transmission from Ground Command. "All fleets report heavy losses," said Riley's voice through static. "But the alien flagship is retreating." "You've got one shot before they jump." Morgan's heart pounded. "Fire all ion lances on my mark," she said. The crew obeyed instantly. Lights dimmed across the bridge. Outside, arcs of blue energy gathered along the cruiser's spines. The enemy ship opened its warp corridor, light spilling like liquid metal. "Now," Morgan whispered. The ion lances fired together, slicing through the dark like lightning. The energy met the warp corridor mid-fold, and everything went white. When the light faded, the alien flagship was gone. The warp tunnel had collapsed, consuming it entirely. The human fleet drifted in silence, their ships flickering from overload. On the ground, people stared at their screens, speechless. Earth had survived the unthinkable, but it wasn't over. Moments later, the scanner arrays deep within the Council's observation decks began flashing red. Every system spiked. Power readings from Earth were off the charts. A field of unknown energy was spreading from the planet's magnetic poles, reaching into orbit. "What are they doing?" a counselor demanded. "That energy signature, it matches nothing in the database." Counselor Dresha stood slowly. "That," he said, "is human innovation." In the command bunker, Riley looked at the same readings. "It's the defense grid," he murmured. "We only activated Phase 1. Around Earth, thousands of satellites began to link together, forming a shimmering shell of electromagnetic light. It wasn't a weapon, it was a declaration. The network pulsed with the same signature as the collapsed alien warp gate, meaning any hostile fleet that tried to open a jump route near Earth would instantly be destabilized. Humanity had just blocked the oldest form of galactic travel. The Council chambers fell silent. For the first time in centuries, a new civilization had done something no one expected, not even the ones testing them. Back on Resolute, Captain Morgan sat in the dim glow of her console. The crew around her watched the stars quietly. "We weren't supposed to win," one officer whispered. "No," Morgan said. "We were supposed to learn, and we did." As the comms came alive again, a transmission arrived, not from Earth but from the Council itself. It was short, only one sentence. "Humanity is summoned to the Judgment Hall of the Galactic Council." Morgan exhaled slowly. "Guess the test isn't over yet." The human fleet turned toward the distant glow of the galactic core. Beyond that light waited the Council, the ancient power that ruled thousands of species. They would face questions, accusations, and demands for control. But humanity had already learned the greatest truth in the galaxy. Power was not only in weapons or fleets. Power was in understanding how to turn weakness into strength. As Earth ships entered hyperspace, their blue engines burned brighter than ever before. The stars around them blurred into streams of light. Humanity was no longer a trainee race. They had just rewritten the rules of the test, and now the galaxy was watching. The human fleet drifted at the edge of the galactic core, surrounded by colossal alien ships that dwarfed every vessel Earth had ever built. The light from the central black hole shimmered across thousands of hulls, and the void trembled with silent tension. In the distance, the Council's flagship, a city-sized sphere of silver metal, waited. It was both magnificent and terrifying. For humanity, this was Judgment Day, on board the flagship Aurora. Captain Morgan watched the scanner flicker red again and again. "They've surrounded us in every direction," her navigator said quietly. "If they wanted to, they could erase us in seconds." Morgan didn't look away from the viewport. "If they wanted to," she said, "they already would have." A low rumble shook the ship as a transmission cut through the comms, layered and cold. "Human vessels," said the voice of the Galactic Council's speaker. "Proceed to the central chamber. Leave your weapons offline. Any act of aggression will be considered a declaration of war." War. The word hung heavy in the air. No human needed to hear it twice. The Aurora and 2 escort ships drifted forward, escorted by glowing spheres that served as council guards. Their light pulsed like heartbeats as they guided the humans into the docking bay of the Silver Sphere. Once inside, the vastness of the council's structure was overwhelming. Walls rose like mountains, carved with symbols from civilizations that had ruled for millennia. Morgan stepped out first, followed by her science officer, Dr. Alara Hayes, and Commander Riley from Earth's Defense Command. Before them stood hundreds of alien delegates, tall, luminous beings, scaled creatures, crystalline entities, and gaseous forms contained within shields of light. Each represented a world that had existed long before humans ever walked on land. At the center, floating above a raised platform, was the Speaker of the Council. Its body shimmered like molten glass, constantly shifting form. "Humanity," it said, its voice echoing across the hall. "You have broken the boundaries of your trial. You were to be observed, not to retaliate. And yet you fought. You adapted. You destroyed a fleet designed to test your restraint. Why?" Morgan met its gaze. "Because your test didn't feel like one," she said. "When you send ships that fire on our cities, we don't wait for permission to survive." The hall buzzed with low tones, some of agreement, most of anger. One delegate, covered in metallic tendrils, rose. "They are dangerous. They should be contained before they spread further." Another, a vast winged being, spoke next. "Contain them? You would cage the only species that fought a council fleet to a standstill with technology a fraction of ours?" The speaker silenced them with a flicker of light. "We do not debate yet," it said. "We judge." Behind Morgan, Dr. Hayes whispered, "They don't understand what drives us. They think logic is all that matters." Morgan's lips tightened. "Then we'll show them logic with proof." The speaker turned back to the humans. "You used energy that destabilized our warp fields. No other species has ever created such interference. Explain your method." Riley stepped forward. "We didn't plan it. Our defense network detected the warp fluctuations of your ships and automatically matched their frequency. The system adapted on its own." The speaker tilted its head. "Adapted? Without guidance?" "Yes," Riley said. "It learned, just like we do." The hall went silent. For the first time, the speaker's glow dimmed. "You are saying your world can think?" Morgan's voice was calm but carried weight. "Our world doesn't think. Our people do. Every human on Earth has the same trait. When we're pushed, we evolve faster than anyone expects. We learn, even when no one gives us the answers." Murmurs spread through the chamber. The crystalline delegate who had defended them earlier rose again. "They remind me of the early council races," it said softly, "before we grew cautious." But the metallic being snapped. "They are unpredictable. If their planet can mimic energy fields, what happens when they master it? They could shut down our networks, our gates, our entire system." The speaker turned toward the humans once more. "And that," it said, "is why you are here, to determine whether your species is a threat to galactic order." Dr. Hayes took a small step forward. "You see our potential as danger," she said, her voice trembling but firm. "We see it as responsibility. You call this a council, but you've forgotten what it means to grow. Every test you've built is designed to make others obey, not to understand. We don't want your control. We just want our place among you." The speaker's form rippled. "And if your place endangers others?" Morgan looked around the hall, meeting the eyes or equivalents of every alien present. "Then hold us to the same standard you hold yourselves. But if you fear us simply because we learn faster, that's not judgment. That's fear of change." The chamber dimmed as the speaker floated back. Energy surged through the walls. "Your words are noted," it said. "But words are not proof." The floor beneath the humans shifted. Suddenly, the holographic dome around them changed. Stars appeared, ships materialized, and before they could react, they were standing within a live simulation. Thousands of drones surrounded the humans, their energy weapons locking on. "This is your final test," the speaker said. "Show the galaxy what humanity truly is." Riley raised his wrist device, linking with Earth's command satellites through quantum relay. "You want proof?" he muttered. "You'll get it." The holographic ships began to fire. The humans ducked, but instead of shooting back, Riley activated his transmitter. "Hayes," he said, Link the feedback loop. Hayes tapped her console. Done. Within seconds, the energy beams directed at the humans bent midair and redirected, turning back toward the simulated attackers. The drones began to fall one after another. The council delegates gasped. The humans hadn't fired a single shot. They had reflected the attack using the enemy's own energy signatures. The speaker's light pulsed violently. How? Morgan smiled faintly. By understanding your weapons instead of fearing them. We learned your systems in minutes. Not because we're gods. Because we pay attention. The simulation ended. Silence fell across the chamber. Then, one by one, several counselors began to bow. Not in submission, but in acknowledgement. The crystalline being's voice broke the stillness. Let it be known, it said, that humanity has not only passed the test but redefined it. The speaker dimmed its light once more, then spoke slowly. Very well. Earth is accepted into the Galactic Council. But know this, humans. Your light burns fast. Do not let it consume what you seek to protect. Morgan nodded. We won't. But if darkness comes, remember who stood here today. As the humans turned to leave, the chamber lights flared. The council itself had been changed. For the first time in thousands of years, a new species had stood against its will, and earned respect not by strength but by intellect and will. Outside, the human fleet waited. When Morgan returned to the bridge of the Aurora, her crew rose in silence. She looked at the stars ahead, distant, infinite, and now open to them. Riley stood beside her. Do you think they'll ever trust us? Morgan smiled faintly. They don't have to, she said. They just have to remember us. Far below, Earth glowed blue against the void, wrapped in its shimmering defense grid. The galaxy watched the new members of the Council, humans, the species that had turned a test into a revolution, and in that silence between stars, one truth echoed across the cosmos. Humanity had not just passed the test, they had become the test.